Hello and welcome back to the cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine, and on this channel I do the Spirit Guide Monthly live every last Friday of the month. I hope you're able to join me. I also do pick-a-card readings. I also do astrology readings, but we're also doing this. Learn to manifest, learn magic. These are simplistic magic lessons to try and help you improve the law of attraction specifically so that you get better results with more lasting duration that make you happier. Today we're covering how to prepare your space, how to protect yourself. We're also going to cover how to fix a scripting error that most people are making. If you're really happy with the level of manifestation that you're achieving, then you don't need to be watching this series. But if you're not, this is going to help you get better results. Very quickly, one of the things I wanted to point out as I've been discussing the idea of reciprocity and kind of maintaining an energy balance, an energy exchange with the universe in all of the magic that you do. I have protective magic on me at all times, meaning that I have something called the God's Justice Curse on me. It's not the same thing as a return to sender work. It's a little bit kind of similar in principle, but basically as long as my intent is good, anything negative that you try and do towards me will magnify tenfold in your life and come right back at you. And the reason I'm covering that is one of the free lessons I put up, somebody thumbs downed it because they didn't like what I was saying. And I kind of looked at that and I was like, oh God, you don't know what you just did to you. When you have good intent, you are protected just by that, because dark source cannot reach you if you're not reaching for dark source in the magic that you're trying to manifest. So if you're trying to live an abundant life because you wish to do good in this world, lead with light, help heal, you're very protected just as it is. But you will get better results from your magic, and you will get better results from your manifestations, the new moon rituals that you're performing, and even the full moon rituals that you're performing, which are about releasing old energies if you're working in a protective space. As I said, I also have protective magic on me, but I always perform protective practices around any deep spell work that I'm doing. I practice celestial and angelic magic, which is not what I'm teaching here. That is kind of an advanced discipline that I will be trying to teach, I think at a different point via Patreon. But for this is available to all magic is available to everybody, but we're all working at a different level. This is good basic magic to try and bring energetic manifestation into your life in a form that will endure, that is anchored in this reality, also attached to the divine and ever abundant. Let's cover what protective practices you need to perform in your space before you perform any magic. There's so much free magic work out there, and it does not cover the preparation. You want to treat your space a little bit like an operating theater because you don't want any energies to infect your magic. And that's how you want to think of protective practices prior to casting. Any energy that's around you will be in your magic. I'm going to teach you how to cast a rudimentary circle. I'm also going to teach you some protective practices. So let's go. Hey, before I get started, to maintain that energy exchange, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm giving you something. You're supposed to give me something back in the law of reciprocity, in the law of energetic balance. And if you like this reading or this advice, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And that also covers the energy exchange. We are meant to give and to receive. I am giving, you are receiving, you are meant to give something back. You don't have to, this is not about pressure, this is just about maintaining your energetic balance. Let's cover what you need when you're trying to prepare for things. Think of it like an operating theater. Anything in that area can get into your magic. Anything on you can get into your magic. When I cast, I am barefaced. I am wearing all natural fabrics when I cast. I'm clearly not casting right now because I have a cosmetic shop on my face, so I show up on camera. But when I am casting, I do not have any makeup on. That doesn't mean that you can't wear makeup, but make sure it's mineral-based. Any chemicals in that's present in the circle that you're creating as well. Can it have an influence? Yes, actually. Anything made out of the elements of this reality can actually have an influence. That's for deep work. For manifestation, you probably will be just fine with this practice. This is a smudge spray called Heavenly Sage. This is another one that is lavender sage and smudging sprays. This is by Crystal Serenity. You can find it on Amazon. This one is crystal and Reiki infused smudge spray, Heavenly Sage. If you do not like the smell of burning sage, smudge sprays are perfect. And you go around every room and you spray it in the corners in particular, by the windowsills, by any egress, or in any doorways, basically. Anything where a portal can form. That's to clear out energy. You can use sage if you use sage, and with both of these, you want to make sure you crack a window. If you're trying to shoo out the old energies, you want to make sure that you give them some place to go. It is a very good idea to clean thoroughly whenever trying to manifest beforehand to get rid of all old energies. Everything will work better in a tidy and an organized space, which I don't currently have, but this is not casting, this is instruction. When you don't like the smell of sage, or you have an allergy to smoke, or you don't want it around your pets, smudge sprays are perfect. Sage is like energetic bleach. It will take both the positive energy and the negative energy and absolutely reset it, which is why you want to follow up with something that will invite divine energy in. I do my whole house, and frequently I have 7 sound bowls. When I'm doing really deep work, I will go through the whole house, starting with the root chakra, going all the way up to the crown chakra to reset the energy, to make it as receptive as possible for divine work. But that is when I'm doing things like demonic entity removal, which I will not be teaching you here. It's dangerous. But manifestation work, what you want to do is get your space prepared to be only influenced by the energy you are asking for and inviting. That's why you're doing sage, and then following up with something like incense. And then I also have Palo Santo. Palo Santo is a holy wood. You can get it in a spray form as well if you really just don't like smoke. And then incense. This is a holy incense for rosemary. Rosemary is a very protective thing as well. You take it all over your home, at least in the area that you're casting. You waft it into all corners. You invite divine energy in, and you banish all dark energy. And then we also have, let's see, this is our intention candles. Once you've got everything all cleaned out, you've saged and then followed up with Palo Santo or incense. If you're doing deep work, good idea to do the energetic sound reset, which you can use sounds from YouTube. It is not the object, it is the vibration of the sound. These are intention candles. This is from my personal altar. I light one for the divine aspect the masculine aspect of divinity, and one for the feminine as well. You can use 1 intention candle if you want to, 2 or 7. It doesn't matter. It's the divinity that you're resonating with, the powers that you're calling to aid your manifestation. If you are just working with the law of attraction, then you're going to want to have 1 for positive energy. Okay? All right. After that, what you also want to do, you've prepared your space for doing scripting, for lighting prosperity candles, for doing those little money candles that they sell all over the place, maybe for doing some of the ritual spells that you've seen. Once you're all prepared, you should be freshly showered, no makeup on. It's a good idea to skip antiperspirant because it has aluminum in it, which is a slightly reactive substance, but you don't have to. You don't have to go that specific unless you're performing deep ritual magic. The law of manifestation and the law of attraction is not deep ritual magic. But this will improve the rapidity and the solidifying effects of your magic. So it will come to you more quickly, and it will come to you in a shape that you can retain if you start out in an energetically cleansed space. You light your intention candles, and then you do your work. The other thing that you can do to help with that is to do a short alignment in which you envision divine light coming down through your chakras, each chakra point that it hits. You will see in your mind's eye, because you have your eyes closed when you're doing this, envision divine light coming down from above, hitting your crown chakra. This is going to be a lavender or violet color. This is indigo blue, that is your 3rd eye. Your throat chakra is here, that is sky blue. The heart chakra can be seen in bright green, emerald green, or with bright pink. I do green ringed with bright pink because I'm not the biggest fan of green, and so I resonate more with bright pink. I'm sure that's quite obvious. Then your solar plexus, which is your personal power, where you're manifesting from, is right around your belly button. That is the color of the sun. About 2 inches below your belly button is your sacral chakra. That is your emotional center. That is the kind of the fire behind things as well. It's controlled by water, but emotions are very important to the nature and the tenor of the manifestation that you receive. So if you're doing magic when you're super angry, don't accept beautiful, peaceful results. Be in a balanced state. Once you get that divine energy all the way down through you, you're lit up in your mind's eye like a Christmas tree, all the way down through, going down through your root chakra into the core of the earth. You see it filling up your body. You see your mind's eye. Your body is filled with divine light almost till it's shooting out your fingertips. Open your eyes, see it 2 feet in front of you, 2 feet above you, 2 feet behind you. Do not forget underneath your feet. Then you're in this great big white egg of divine light. See roots coming down out of the bottom of your feet, winding down into the earth. You can see corkscrews that way if you want to ground you. That is being shielded and grounded, which is important. To cast a circle, open your eyes and envision coming from your third eye a spout of divine fire. That is blue fire, it is violet fire, it can be bright, bright white fire, shooting out like a lasso around you in a small circle. Envision it going bigger and bigger and bigger. I just encircled my entire townhome unit in divine fire. When you see it established in your mind eye, you have cast a circle. It's important to do that because nothing evil can enter from within and nothing evil can enter from without. When you are calling power to you, the opposite energy tries to come to you. When you cast a circle, it means that the only energy that reaches you is the energy that you're calling. Doing any spell work at all, whether it's one of the things I'm teaching you to do or one of the spells that you found elsewhere, make sure you set up for it. You will have much better results. That is basic protection around magic. We're also going to do how to clear your personal energy today. And this is a funky little old witch's trick that will help clearing your auric space from any attachments that are not demonic. And I'll cover that in a different, there's a bunch of different attachments. What you're going to want to do, I usually use a bowl that is much smaller than this. It's about a third of the size. It happens to be in use in another area. You're going to fill up a glass bowl. It does not need to be clear, but it's helpful, with water that you have prayed over to kind of remove all negative energies. You activate things with your dominant hand and you receive with your non-dominant hand. So this is an activation hand. You would pray over the water. You would kind of vibe your energy into it to clear your space to allow you freedom. Then you put about a tablespoon of sea salt in it, or a tablespoon of pink Himalayan salt. This is particularly good if you think anybody has performed any love magic against you, if you've got anything on your heart chakra, if you're trying to heal trauma. You fill that 3/4 of the way up, and then you take either frozen cranberries, and about a 1/4 cup of those, you put them on top of the water so that they're floating there, and you sleep with this directly underneath the head of your bed or on your bedside table. Make sure you prepare it right before you go to sleep. Not let it sit there all day. In the morning, get up. You can save the cranberries and use them about 3-4 times. And you pour the water into the ground, not down your drain. You can have like a little flower pot of just potting soil. That'll work just great. That's how you ground out dark energies and start with a clean aura. You can also use the peel of a lemon, just a peel, not the white stuff, not the pulp, the peel, and float that on top as well instead of the cranberries. You can also use dried elderberries. Dried elderberries you're going to want to dispose of each time because they mold really easily, and the fresh lemons are so inexpensive, it's usually a good idea to go ahead and use a new one each day as well. Lemons are particularly good in negating darker energies. The other thing to do if you suspect that someone has been casting against you is this is star anise. Remember, in all magic, particularly in folk magic and in hoodoo, we use a lot of spices. And so one of the best places to get that is at the Indian spice markets. Most places have ethnic groceries in their area. They're much less expensive. Other cultures use tons of spices, and they have a tendency to be a little bit more economical. This is the mother bag of star anise. Star anise is particularly good to kind of, I want to say, like, exterminate any low-lying darker entities as well. You can grind this up in a spice grinder, put it in an incense burner, and that will give you that extra oomph if you feel like anything is lingering after your sage and after your Palo Santo. And then, let's see, what else we were going to do? We were going to talk about scripting errors. So that is the way to prepare your space. First you clean, then you energetically clean, sage, Palo Santo, then followed up by, it can be incense or Palo Santo, then you light your intention candles, then you cast your circle, then you do your magic. Do you need to take down your circle? I never, ever, ever do. I turn around, walk away after I'm done casting it, because I'm usually doing ritual work that goes night after night after night, and I'm always reinforcing that circle. And like I said, I always have protective magic all over me. I simply have to. All right, so let us also talk about the very briefly scripting errors that people are making and the super easy way to fix them to improve the rapidity of your manifestation. The law of manifestation teaches you scripting, writing about things as if you already possess them. I love my new home. I love my new car. I love all that money. I have enough to spend, enough to splurge, enough to save, and enough to share. That's a great one to include in prosperity magic, by the way. I have enough to spend, enough to splurge, enough to save, and enough to share. That's a good way to set a good intention. One of the ways that the law of attraction uses that flash and thunder magic I was talking about, which is brief energy bursts that will bring in a briefer manifestation that is not as anchored in the 3D as it needs to be in order to kind of remain there. And so the energy will come from one other area of your life. You will get a counterbalancing kind of backswing on that pendulum. One of the ways to make sure that it is coming in a more, I want to say, layered and grounded with a strong foundation that can withstand all energetic adjustments. One of the ways to do that is to write about it in ER statements. I am wealthier every day. I am happier every day. I am more successful every day. Well, that's not one that you can put the ER on, but it is basically it's a verb that is going forward. So I'm happier, I'm healthier, I'm wealthier, I am more successful. I have more than enough. The words more and anything about building energy so that it continues to increase. The law of manifestation teaches you that the universe does not understand time. The universe understands time just fine. We have a problem with it. We have a problem with the structure of time. Everything is happening all at once, which is where that belief comes from. But you can actually use tenses and carrying things forward. Try not to use negative statements simply because that is a confusing thing. Negative energy comes from dark source. Positive energy comes from light source. Everything that you are likely trying to bring into be is going to come from light source. So the scripting errors are anything that you're writing about. If you're not it's good not to have rigid guidelines around what you're trying to manifest, because it allows the universe to take from the materials available to make your manifestation. If you have a very attached view of how your manifestation must work, then it has to create everything from scratch. And again, it can do these quick grabs and that flash and thunder magic that simply does not last. I'm happier, I'm healthier, I have more love, I have more abundance. You can talk about having more, which is a building energy and a layering energy, and that means that it may come in a piece at a time, but when you get it, it will last and it will not take away from a different area of your life. Okay, so that was protective practices, how to prepare your space. And then the next lesson is how to perform love magic without screwing up your karma. Because when we perform love magic, if we have a specific target in mind, there are still ways to do it, but you need to include some phrasing around it that will make sure you are not carrying a karmic burden for interfering with somebody else's free will. Remember, the very first rule of magic in all disciplines that you should be paying attention to is, if it harms none, do what you will. Now, that's a Wiccan belief, but it carries over in all other areas of magic. If you're not, that's the intent protects you thing that I was talking about at the very top of this. If you have good intent in what you are doing, you will get better results and you will have fewer karmic debts attached to the magic that you are doing. You will also not kind of impede your own progress by trying to force issues that are about your own lessons as well. But there is a way to do love magic in which you can free yourself from karmic debts, and that's the thing that I'm going to be covering next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care, be well. Please don't forget to subscribe. I hope you're enjoying this series.